This episode is brought to you today by Whitehall Mortgage, where there's a will, there's a Whitehall. Buying a home starts by getting a pre-approval, and nobody does it better than Doug in Dallas. Call them today at 570-562-7505 or apply online at whitehallmortgagefinancial.com. Hey everybody, I'm Dave Wychuk. I'm the host of the Real Estate Right Now podcast, and I think I have a pretty cool episode on tap for today. And I'll tell you what inspired this episode. I was flipping through the cable channels the other day, and there was some news story. I caught literally about a minute of it. And the main focus of this news story was scientists thought this rare animal was extinct. They thought they were gone, and then they went into the jungle somewhere, and sure enough, they saw the animal. It came back. It's still here, and everybody was, I guess, pretty happy about that. Well, there's something that's happening now in real estate. And for the past 3 years, maybe longer, the thought was this thing was extinct. And I'm here to tell you, there's good news. They've been found. They're still out there. And the thing that I'm talking about is motivated sellers. For a while, we didn't have to write in the description, motivated seller, because, we were putting a house on the market and it was sold in a week. Look, that's just not the market anymore. So there has been the return of the motivated seller. They're still there. So what does that mean for you as a potential home buyer? All right. What can you do as a home buyer to find and take advantage of these motivated sellers? Well, I have a couple things. I have 5 tips and maybe a couple other things that I could throw in there. But what can you do? First and foremost, work with an agent who knows how to spot motivated sellers. All right. Ask your realtor to help you identify the things that make motivated sellers easy to find. What are those things? Price reductions, a large amount of days on the market, empty homes that are vacant, maybe estates, and listings with phrases like bring all offers, priced to sell. Sometimes they literally just say it, motivated seller. All right. These are signs that the seller is more likely to be negotiable, which means there's an opportunity there for you as a buyer that in recent history you simply didn't have. All right. Now, something else that buyers can do to find and take advantage of these motivated sellers. Buyers now have the ability, again, to negotiate more than just price. All right. And that's huge. What does that look like? Hey, maybe now sellers are a little bit more interested in covering all or part of your closing costs. Maybe they're willing to help you buy down an interest rate. Sellers are more prepared and more willing than they have been in a long time to pay or do some repairs that you're asking for. They're a lot more likely to include appliances or, in some cases, even furniture that buyers may want. And smart buyers understand that if you find those motivated sellers, you can take advantage of more than just the sales price. And you can start asking for some of these other concessions that home sellers now are willing to do again. The third thing that you could do is, and I think this is always important, but more important than ever now, get pre-approved and be ready to move quickly. All right. Those motivated sellers out there, if they find a serious qualified buyer, they're very likely to make a deal. So your willingness to be pre-approved and be ready to move quickly becomes attractive to them. All right. And that puts you in a position to make more competitive offers, and that puts you in a position to win or to take advantage of that during your negotiations. All right. Something else you could do is search outside the hot zones, especially young first-time home buyers. I can't tell you how many times in my career I helped people buy homes that they told me without question, this is going to be my forever home. I had one guy tell me the next time I move, they'll be moving me to the cemetery, which I thought was kind of grim and also kind of funny. But I hear people say that. As a matter of fact, I have a listing on the market right now where someone said to me, Dave, this is it. This is going to be it for me. This is going to be my forever home. I'm going to live here for the rest of my life. They called me 22 months later, and now their home is on the market. All right. So you have to keep that in mind as a buyer. Look, the hot neighborhoods, the best places to live, those homes are still moving pretty quickly. And in those neighborhoods, it might be really challenging to find a motivated seller. So if you're willing to expand your search area a little bit wider, all right, knowing that you may not live in this house forever, you're a lot more likely to find motivated sellers, which means you can get a great deal now, which means when you go to sell that house in the future, you'll be better positioned to buy your next house. And the fifth thing, I say this now, make offers. Put offers out there, even if it feels a little bit crazy, right? I think back, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, one of my preferred lenders that I worked with all the time, his and my tagline, we used to say this. We said, look, if the seller accepts your first offer, you paid too much. And we used to say that. I think that's coming back in some areas right now, right? So if you're not in a competitive situation and a house is on the market for $400,000 and it's been out there for 4 months, I don't think it's unreasonable to offer $350,000 because you might get a counteroffer. You might start a negotiation. You might start getting that price lower, or you might start getting some of those other concessions that we talked about. And I'll even throw in a bonus that you could do. It's never a bad idea to ask your realtor about off-market opportunities, right? As realtors, and I'm saying this not because we, keep pocket listings or anything like that. That's a different conversation for a different day. But as realtors, I know people that say to me, Dave, I don't really want to sell my house, but, if you find this or if someone says this, maybe I would, right? Where it's one of those things I come back to, for the right price or the right opportunity, maybe everything is for sale or almost everything. So don't be afraid to ask your realtor if they know of any off-market opportunities as well, because they might. This is a market where buyers who are proactive win, all right? Get pre-approved and be ready to go, and then look for those things that I talked about, signs of the motivated seller, price reduction, days on the market, vacant homes. And if you're willing to take a look at some of them, first of all, sometimes great houses end up on the market a little bit longer, or they end up vacant, or whatever there may be. It doesn't even mean that you're buying distressed properties all the time, guys. Sometimes things are the way they are just because that's how they are. But the motivated seller is back, just like that rare animal that they found somewhere that they thought was gone, and it returned. The motivated seller has returned to the real estate market. It creates an opportunity that buyers have not had in a long time. So work with the realtor that you know and trust. You can find those opportunities and take advantage of them, which will set you up for more success in the future when you decide to buy and sell again. That's all for today. We'll talk again soon. Thanks for joining us for today's episode, everybody. If you want to hear more content, follow us at Real Estate Right Now Pod on YouTube. Once you're there, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. And if you want to follow me directly, check me out. It's Dave Wychock at Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, all the socials that you're already using.